You probably have a protein bar in your bag right now. Maybe it's sitting in your desk drawer or your gym locker. And you feel pretty good about that choice because the package says high protein and has a picture of someone climbing a mountain or running a marathon. Here's the problem. Some of the most popular protein bars on store shelves have more sugar than a Snickers, enough calories for a full meal, and ingredient lists that read like a chemistry experiment. Gatorade's currently facing a class action lawsuit for misleading health claims. Their bar, marketed to NFL athletes, contains nearly a woman's entire daily sugar allowance. In one bar, products are being discontinued. The FDA has sent warning letters. And your go-to healthy snack might be the exact reason you're not seeing results from all those early morning workouts and meal prep sessions. So let's rank 6 snack bars from absolute worst to genuinely worth your money. Because life's too short to waste $3 on compressed sugar wrapped in wellness marketing. Smash that subscribe button because we're about to save you from some seriously expensive candy bars in disguise. Number 6, Gatorade Recover Protein Bar, Peanut Butter Chocolate. Launched as Gatorade's expansion into athlete fuel, this bar is currently the defendant in a class action lawsuit for deliberately misleading health claims. When your protein bar needs lawyers, that's never a good sign. You get an 80-gram brick with whey protein, milk protein, and chocolate coating made with palm kernel oil, corn syrup, and fructose syrup. The texture is dense and crumbly with a fake chocolate scent. The overwhelming sweetness masks any real flavor. It's bound with enough corn syrup to glue drywall. Here's the nightmare. 360 calories with 24 to 29 grams of sugar, 48 to 58% of your daily value. Women should eat 25 grams per day. This bar contains nearly all of it. It also packs 9 to 10 grams of saturated fat, which is 45 to 50% of your daily value. That's the equivalent of eating half a McDonald's McDouble in saturated fat alone. The fiber content is pathetic at only 1 gram, meaning this bar won't keep you full. And with 310 milligrams of sodium, 13% of your daily intake, you're getting a sodium bomb along with all that sugar. At $2.50 to $3, you're paying premium prices for a Snickers with a Gatorade logo. The lawsuit alleges the protein bar name is marketing manipulation, putting 20 grams of protein front and center while bearing the sugar. PepsiCo is banking on that lightning bolt logo and professional sports endorsements to move product that nutritionists wouldn't touch. This isn't fuel. It's a cardiovascular event wrapped in buzzwords. When PepsiCo's lawyers can't defend your nutritional profile, you've made candy. But if you think nearly 30 grams of sugar is bad, our next contender has been lying even longer. Number 5, Clif Bar, Peanut Butter Banana with Dark Chocolate. Since 1992, Clif Bar has marketed itself as wholesome and organic with mountain climbers and cyclists on the packaging. Then you flip it over and see the first ingredient, organic brown rice syrup. A sugar with a glycemic index of 98, higher than table sugar. This 68-gram bar lists sugar 5 times in different forms. Brown rice syrup, tapioca syrup, and cane syrup. The texture is dense, chewy, and sticky. It clings to your teeth like candy because it is candy. The sweetness overpowers any actual peanut butter or banana flavor. The deception is stunning. 250 to 270 calories with 14 to 16 grams of added sugar, 28 to 32% of the daily value for women, and only 10 grams of protein, more sugar than protein in a protein bar. The bar also contains 44 to 45 grams of total carbohydrates, with half coming from sugar. That's nearly the carb content of 3 slices of white bread. The soy protein isolate hasn't been fermented, making it harder to digest. And with only 5 to 6 grams of fiber, this bar won't sustain you through your afternoon despite the massive carb load. One nutritionist tested her blood sugar. The spike was dramatic. It hits your bloodstream like rocket fuel. Reddit users confess, I was basically eating this as my afternoon candy bar. Clif Bar survives on health washing. By leading with organic and adventure imagery, they've convinced office workers that eating 270 calories and 14 grams of sugar at their desks is athletic. These are designed for 4-hour mountain hikes, activities 99% of consumers aren't doing. This is glucose dressed in hiking boots. Nutritionists call these Snickers with a health halo, and they're right. At least Clif Bar is still on shelves. Our next offender couldn't survive its own formula. Number 4, Zone Perfect Protein Bar, Chocolate Peanut Butter. Zone Perfect bars promise balanced macros and blood sugar stability. Fast forward to 2024 and Abbott Nutrition discontinued the entire line. When a company gives up on its own product that tells you everything, this 50-gram bar uses soy protein nuggets, chocolate coating with sugar and palm kernel oil, corn syrup, liquid fructose, plus sorbitol and maltitol, sugar alcohols. Customer reviews are brutal, eating sidewalk chalk, slimy, waxy coating that never dissolves. The taste is overly sweet with a chemical aftertaste. The peanut butter flavor tastes artificial and one-dimensional. 220 calories with 15 grams of sugar, more than the 12 to 14 grams of protein, only 1 gram of fiber. The 24 grams of total carbs provide no sustained energy, and the 220 to 270 milligrams of sodium adds insult to injury. With virtually no fiber and sugar alcohols that cause digestive distress, this bar fails on every metric. At $1.50 to $2, you're paying for a bar the manufacturer abandoned. The sugar alcohols, sorbitol and maltitol, are used to artificially lower the net carb count on the label, while wreaking havoc on your digestive system. Customer horror stories flood reviews, severe bloating and diarrhea. The sorbitol and maltitol destroyed my stomach. Formula changes made them worse. After they added hickory root extract, these became inedible. Here's where it gets tricky. Sugar alcohols let them claim lower net carbs, while omitting that 30 to 50% of people experience severe gastrointestinal distress. They rode the Zone diet trend by manipulating nutrition labels with sugar alcohols instead of actually creating a nutritious product. This bar is like a bad relationship, makes promises, delivers stomach pain, and everyone gives up. When your own company won't stand behind you, neither should consumers. If this is already saving you from regrettable purchases, hit that subscribe button. We've got one more disaster before we get to bars that actually deliver. Number 3, Perfect Bar, almond butter. Perfect Bar built its reputation on 20 superfoods and whole food ingredients. These bars sit in the refrigerated section looking virtuous. Then you check the label, 330 to 350 calories with 18 grams of added sugar. Perfect is generous. You get almond butter with honey as the second ingredient, dried egg powder, rice protein, flax seeds, and a superfood blend with 30 plus ingredients despite the simple marketing. The texture is cookie dough-like, either chewy or cloyingly sticky. The taste is honey forward, more like dessert than fuel. It requires refrigeration, making it inconvenient for gym bags or travel. This is a caloric bomb, 330 to 350 calories, essentially a small meal, with 12 to 18 grams of added sugar from honey. That's 24 to 36% of your daily value in a snack. The bar contains 18 to 21 grams of total fat, including 4 grams of saturated fat, which is 20% of your daily value. While the 15 to 17 grams of protein sounds decent, and the 3 to 4 grams of fiber is better than some competitors, you're still consuming what amounts to a dessert. The 26 grams of carbohydrates are primarily simple sugars from honey, not complex carbs that provide sustained energy. At $2.50 to $3.50 per bar, you're paying premium prices for nut butter mixed with honey. Customers report it's too sweet to finish and defeats the grab-and-go purpose. Perfect Bar exploits superfood trends by listing 20 plus ingredients, most in trace amounts as powders. The refrigeration creates a premium perception as honey and nut butter often lack shelf life. Without preservatives. They're targeting whole food shoppers who equate organic with healthy and don't read past the marketing buzzwords. This isn't a protein bar, it's a peanut butter cup in witness protection, charging $3 for the privilege. When your snack contains more calories than breakfast, the only thing perfect is the marketing. But here's where things turn. Those 4 bars sell expensive lies. These next 2 actually deliver. And if you're finding this useful, if this is saving you money and health goals, hit that like button. It really helps cut through the marketing noise. Number 2, Kind Bar, dark chocolate nuts and sea salt. When Daniel Lubetzky founded Kind in 2004, he asked, what if snack bars were made from food you could see? The FDA sent a 9-page warning in 2015 claiming Kind bars couldn't be called healthy due to fat content. Kind's response, you mean fat from almonds like avocados and salmon? The FDA eventually changed its guidelines. You get almonds as the first ingredient, followed by peanuts, chicory root fiber, minimal honey, dark chocolate, and sea salt. Every ingredient is visible through the wrapper. The texture is crunchy with whole nuts you can see and bite. The taste is balanced sweetness with savory sea salt contrast, not candy-like but satisfying. The nutritional legitimacy is real, 180 to 200 calories with only 5 grams of sugar. Lowest on this list without artificial sweeteners, 6 grams of protein from nuts, and 7 grams of fiber. That's 28% of your daily value. The 16 grams of carbohydrates are complex carbs from whole nuts, not simple sugars. The 14 to 15 grams of fat are mostly monounsaturated and polyunsaturated, the heart-healthy kinds. Only 3 grams are saturated fat, which is 15% of your daily value and comes from the dark chocolate and palm kernel oil in the coating. The 125 to 140 milligrams of sodium is reasonable and won't spike your blood pressure. At $1.50 to $2, you're paying for real almonds and peanuts. Research backs this. People who eat nuts daily are 29% less likely to have heart disease and experience 20% lower death rates. Kind built its brand on radical transparency, literally putting ingredients on the front and using clear wrappers. They target educated consumers who understand that 15 grams of fat from almonds beats 15 grams of sugar. Their only real compromise is chicory root fiber to boost the fiber count and palm kernel oil for chocolate texture. But compared to competitors using corn syrup and sugar alcohols, this is minimal. At 5 grams of sugar and 7 grams of fiber, it's proof that snack bars don't need to be candy to taste good. Kind won their FDA fight because they were right about nut-based fats. But there's one bar that goes even further, and it's our winner, number 1, RX Bar Chocolate Sea Salt. In 2012, 2 friends couldn't find a protein bar without a chemistry degree's worth of ingredients. So they made their own with a controversial promise. No BS. They printed the entire recipe on the front. 3 egg whites, 6 almonds, 4 cashews, 2 dates. That's it. Kellogg's bought them for $600 million in 2017, but the formula stayed the same. You literally get 3 egg whites, almonds, cashews, and dates with natural cocoa and sea salt. You can count every ingredient on one hand. The texture is dense and chewy, but not chalky. The chocolate sea salt variety is softer than other flavors. The taste is naturally sweet from dates, no added sugar, with rich chocolate and sea salt. It tastes like actual food, not a laboratory experiment. The nutritional excellence is undeniable. 190 to 210 calories with 12 grams of complete protein from egg whites with all 9 essential amino acids. 5 grams of fiber, 20% of your daily value. And here's the kicker, 0 grams of added sugar. All 13 to 16 grams come from dates. At $2 to $2.50, $1.50 at Target for good and gather version, you're paying for real eggs and nuts, not protein isolates. Dietitian endorsements are universal. RX Bar easily claims a top spot for whole foods-based options. The comparison destroys competition. 12 grams of protein from eggs versus soy isolate, 0 added sugar versus 14 to 18, 5 grams of fiber versus 1, 3 to 7 ingredients versus 30 plus. RX Bar succeeded by doing the opposite of every other company. Radical transparency instead of fine print. Whole foods instead of isolates. 0 BS instead of health claims. This is the bar every company wishes they'd invented. Proof you don't need 30 ingredients or misleading marketing to make something delicious and nutritious. When your ingredient list fits on the front and you can pronounce everything, you've created something revolutionary, an honest protein bar. So what have we learned? 4 bars on this list are selling you expensive lies wrapped in fitness marketing. Gatorade's facing lawsuits. Clif Bar peddles organic sugar bombs. Zone Perfect got discontinued by its own manufacturer. Perfect Bar charges boutique prices for honey and nut butter. Meanwhile, Kind and RX Bar prove real food can fuel your body without deception. Here's what matters. If the ingredient list reads like a chemistry textbook, it belongs in a lab. If the sugar rivals candy, it is candy, organic or not. The best bars have ingredients you can count on one hand using whole foods you can see. They don't hide sugar under 5 names or need lawyers defending health claims. Those 20 to 30 grams of sugar per bar add up fast. That's why you're not seeing workout results. That's why you're hungry an hour later. Your body knows the difference between real food and processed junk, even when your brain falls for the packaging. Hit subscribe if this changed how you'll shop for protein bars, and drop a comment telling us which bar you're breaking up with. Because the best snack bar isn't the one with the best marketing, it's the one that tells the truth.